The Jenn Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life, is an inspirational hour that'll take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jenn Royster is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Imagine having the ability to use your innate positive energy to dissolve the stuckness in your life, whether it's emotional, physical, or spiritual, through this incredible dynamic show. Get ready to be transformed from Dr. Jenn's live guided healing meditations and intuitive readings, and unveil the power of connecting to spirit, the angels, and your higher self. Dr. Jenn is passionate about helping you find the answers you're looking for through an inward journey that'll strengthen your connection to spirit and help you trust your intuition. Now, here's your host, Dr. Jenn Royster.
Hello everyone, welcome to the show. I'm Dr. Jenn, and today we're going to talk about Gemini season, which is right around the corner. This is an interesting time. We are in a Mercury retrograde. We are going to work with Archangel Gabriel today, and I do hope we bring some wonderful insights from this angel during Gemini season. Because Archangel Gabriel is the angel of communication, it's a perfect angel to work with, especially with this retrograde going on, because it can sometimes confuse communications. So that's what we're talking about today. So I'm going to get started because I have some really great information that I want to put out there for you. First of all, a little bit about Archangel Gabriel. Archangel Gabriel is the angel of communication, also the angel of strength and creativity, and when we are in new beginnings. Perfect angel to work with right now. It's a great fit here for the Gemini season. Gemini is an air sign, so it's about bringing focus to how we express ourselves, how we communicate, how we think, what's in our mindset. And it also has to do with inner and outer worlds being in alignment, because of the Gemini being represented by the twins in astrology. I look at it from the spiritual perspective of our spiritual side, our inner world, and then our outer world, what we live in this physical world. Are they aligned? Does our spiritual world match our physical world, or does it always feel like we're just mismatched all the time? This season is interesting for that. So I'm going to go over a few different aspects of Gemini season and what we have to look forward to in the next month, and also a quick overview about all the different signs. We'll go through all the different signs. So if you know what your astrology sun sign is, it'd be good to know what your rising sign is too, because if you look at both, those are two prominent ones. I always look at both of mine. Look at your sun sign when you were born, and then your rising sign. That would be the ascendant coming up over the horizon. That's what that is. Can't go into who's got what sign for that. You'd have to find that out. But especially your sun sign, look for that one. If you have both, read both. It helps. You may relate to some of or a little bit of all of it. So we'll do that a little bit later. So here we go. First of all, the affirmation that I have put out for you today is, I align my inner world and my outer world to reflect my true self-expression. That's what this is about. Are we expressing ourselves truthfully? Are we still hiding behind a mask, or, and sorry, pardon the pun on that one with the pandemic, but what, are we being real? Are we being real with ourselves? Are we, listening to what our true voice is? That's what this is about. So here we go with the Gemini season. Let's look at that a little bit. We'll also look and reflect with Gabriel as we go through the show. So first of all, this begins on May 20th. Today, when we're doing this show, it's May 19th. So it starts tomorrow. And what's really cool, and if you've never heard of this before, a little bit of backstory on the Pleiades. So it's going to cross the Pleiades. That's known as that cluster of 7 stars or 7 sisters. It's sometimes, and if you look at some of the old mythologies or astrology stories, but it has, in astrology, a high vibrational healing energy. So when I look at that, even if it's just a story, you can tap in and go, Yeah, I want some of that high vibrational energy healing. That's what we want to look at. As it crosses through these 7 stars of the Pleiades, it activates their energy. Is the way this comes through in astrology, it opens up where it brings more of this type of vibration to Earth. So we have that, which I really like. And then if we were to allow that into our hearts and just focus on that healing from our heart and just allow that energy to come in, because really when we're working with energy healing, it's unconditional love. It's allowing that in. It's focusing on a higher vibration. So if this just simply represents that to you, it will still bring that vibration to you. That's the way it works for me. When we work with that kind of energy, if it's high vibrational healing energy, that helps us with our ascension. That helps us with, as we are moving into 5th dimensional vibrations, if we are working on our spiritual path to move forward, things like that. When we start to shift our energy from lower chakras to higher chakras, this will be helpful when we focus that way. Because it's settling into Gemini, we might feel like we're not as grounded as we did in the Taurus energy. Taurus is an earth sign, very grounded. This is an air sign, so it's mental, it's thinking, it's communication, it's our thoughts, our beliefs. You know, what do we got going on in there? What are we preoccupied with is what you want to look at. So Gemini season will be more like that. So you want to make sure that you're taking a moment to just ground, just settle in and ground. So if it's an air sign, Gemini, being an air sign, does support and is about communication and self-expression. We want to look at that. We want to look at, are we taking time to listen to our inner voice? Are we taking time to listen to what our thoughts and feelings are about something? Are we voicing that? Do we feel like we can, or do we feel like we cannot voice what is our story, our truth? Also, there's another side to this. It's not just about voicing your side. It's about listening. Maybe we need to be a better listener. I know that I work on that a lot. I work on both, but I try to find time in my personal life to just listen more, because you get so excited about something, especially if you're passionate about things you do and you get excited, sometimes we have to go, okay, be quiet and listen for a bit. And we have to remind ourselves of that. So this is about listening too, not just voicing. So you want your self-expression to come out. Gabriel's great with that. Say, for example, you're a writer or an artist, and those are the common ones that we think about when we hear this. You might be a musician. You might just be redesigning your living room. You might just be redesigning your life. You know, you might be wanting to be something in communications. I don't know. But Gabriel's great for helping with things like that. Plus, if he's the angel of communication, we can ask for that clarity to help us understand our dreams as well. If you've been dreaming a lot with this recent eclipse, what's going on with that? Do you have that knowing, or does it feel foggy because of the Mercury retrograde? Ask Gabriel to help you with the clarity with that, which I find to be wonderful. If the dreams are popping up, it's like, what does that mean? You can ask for another sign, another message. It could come in another dream. It could come in a different way, just to help you find clarity with what all of that was trying to tell you. So we want to listen as much as we want to express our true inner voice, and that's what that's about. Gemini is also very sociable. So you may feel that you want to be around more like-minded souls. You want to be able to feel connected to something because it's more social. And coming out of everything we've been through with the last couple of years, you know, people want to do that. So connecting with others that are like-minded, that lift, and you might find that is more important to you this month. You might find that you're going to meet new people that you're more aligned with. You might find that if the old relationships are falling away because everybody's changing and going in different directions, you might find that it's time to create the new community of where you align now. Or you'll go back into where you have community and you'll find that you feel a little bit more like you want to get out there. It's interesting because it's about our outer world, but it's also our inner world. So for some of you, you may feel that you have to go inward a little bit more. Some of you, like I've been inward plenty, I need to get this into my outer world. You know, it just depends on where you are with that. But when we connect with others, we might find that that brings something that we feel like we've been missing. And on deeper levels, this really does, Gemini helps us bridge that gap between our inner and outer world. So on a spiritual note, it can bring about aha moments, pretty incredible times with spiritual awakening, realizations, awareness, things that take you to another level. When we're represented by the twins in Gemini, this reminds us that we have a human soul. We live in this physical world, but we are also a spiritual being living here. We are spiritual beings living in a physical world. So it brings that to us. And then sometimes, you know, they work in tandem. Sometimes our inner and outer world are matching, and sometimes they're not, but it will show you that if you want to look at that. Sometimes we have trouble, you know, with life events or finding that balance between the two. Maybe we're not accepting changes that are happening beyond our control. How can it help us there? This is where Gabriel can really come in and bring you some clarity with that communication. And I really love working with this angel when it comes to communication, period. You know, communication, I need some stamina to be patient and listen. That would be your strength. Maybe I need to find some strength or endurance with this challenge because there's nothing I can do about it, but I need to find flexibility. I need to understand the lessons I can learn from it. It's all about this communication, comprehension, understanding, listening, and being heard or speaking your voice. So it has a little bit of all of the above for that, which I find interesting. So Mercury, being Gemini's ruling planet of Mercury is communications, and it's in retrograde. That's where it might feel a little foggy to you. You might feel like, wow, I don't know why I feel so confused here, but I do, you know. You might feel ungrounded a little bit. That's where you just want to take a moment. Don't try to force anything. Just find a way to just stop and, you know, smell the roses, so to speak, and just stop and go, whoa, let me ground here. That's important. Sometimes you may feel that way because of the retrograde challenging it a little bit. But if that comes up, the best thing to do is just focus on something that you can do something about rather than what you can't. Okay, just reshift your focus. It can help a lot. It might be that you're not sure about decisions that you need to make. You might find that you're like, I don't know, I'm not sure if I want to be here or not. Just listen. That's your listening coming in. You want to listen. Don't worry about knowing all the answers until retrograde's passed, but you can still soak up the energy that Gemini brings for clarity, and it can enhance the things that you're going to review in the retrograde time. So when you do come out of it, you know, okay, yeah, that made a lot of sense, and it's taking that time to listen. So it's being reiterated a little bit here. And then Gabriel helping you to go, wait, you got to listen. You got to just hang on. There might be areas that you need more flexibility. It might be that the answers will be revealed in time, but maybe not right now. It's okay. It's like being okay with the timeline the universe has going on, because the universe sees the bigger picture better than we can. Sometimes we're like, why isn't this happening yet? There's obviously something under the current, and sometimes we know it right away and sometimes we don't. That's life. But we're working through it. Sometimes there's a flexibility that we need to have. Now, there's a new moon on May 30th, and that will close that eclipse that we just went into, that we talked about last week with the blood. That's really a strong one. You'll be feeling that one for about a month, that blood moon eclipse we talked about last week. So you could feel these energies start to calm down by the end of May. You know, just settling in. Okay, all right, that was intense. But eclipse seasons are strong, but it's there to help motivate us, to get us on track, and to get things happening. So you might find that you'll have a little more stability by the end of May versus feeling the foggy right now and not sure. But it's an absolute wonderful time when you feel that way to call on Archangel Gabriel for the communication clarity. Just ask for, do I need to listen more or do I need to speak up more? Maybe you don't even know which one it is. Maybe it's a little bit of both. Sometimes it is. It really is. Now we have, in Gemini, it comes to a close on June 20. And so we have about from tomorrow till June 20 in Gemini season. So that's a little bit about it. Now what I want to do is I'm going to go through each sign and kind of give you an overview of what may or may not come up. This will not apply to everyone, but if you resonate with it, you might want to dive in a little bit deeper. Because this is general and for everyone, it's not specific. So you don't have to read something there that isn't there. If you're not resonating with it, you're not resonating with it. But let's go over some of the probabilities or the more common things that may happen as you're going through this Gemini season. So start off with Aries. Aries, it might be hard to release control. Yeah, you know, Aries likes to be in charge. So under Gemini season, you might feel that little bit of struggle a little bit more. There's so much from learning how to just give and be more flexible with things, sit back, listen more. So for Aries, you might find that struggle with not having to control everything might pop up a little bit more. There's going to be wisdom, new insights that you can learn if you can just take that moment to sit back and on things like that. If that pops up for you, maybe there's something I can learn by listening in. That would be your trick. That would be something to focus on. It's especially true when you get to the new moon. You might feel that a little bit more. But the new moon will bring in an awareness and knowledge and a ha-ha moment for you as the Aries. So stay open to the messages. Just stay open. Jupiter will also be in Aries. So Jupiter is an expansive planet. So that one is keep it on everything you wish to expand. What is it you want to expand on in your life? So that would be really a great focus for Aries if that seems to resonate with you. All right, let's go to the next one. We have a Taurus. Taurus, it might be that recently you've had your health on your mind. You know, like, am I okay here? You know, you might be focusing there more. This would be more for the Taurus about paying attention to what the physical body is trying to tell you and what it needs. Are you overdoing it? Are you slowing down? Are you taking time for rest and self-care? Things like that. Because Taurus can be a hard worker. They have this stamina and this built-in stubbornness, like they'll just keep going until they drop. And sometimes we have to be reminded to slow it down. So if this is resonating for you as a Taurus, just pay attention to if your body is trying to tell you, hey, I need a break, I need to slow down, I need to take a vacay, I need to do something here. So just listen to that. That's not a negative. Just listen to it. So if that's been on your mind or preoccupied, if you've had more fatigue lately, you want to listen and find a way to balance the rest. You want to make sure your actions are aligned with what you're worth. You know, what is your value that you believe in? Do you believe you have a self-worth? What do you truly wish to give your time to? So pay attention to that. That one is a bit of a key for me that I'm listening to here for Tauruses is, are you giving your time to something that you truly want to give your time to? Is it worth it to you? It could be anything. It could be giving. It could be whatever it is, you know, whatever it is you're doing. Are you spending that time that way? And that's going to be right around the new moon for you. You want to balance. You want to balance. So let's go over to a Gemini. A Gemini, this is your time, this is your season. So this one is, you know, birthdays that are Gemini. So if you're falling close to the moon on May 30th, the new moon, that might be a brand new beginning for you. So obviously, It may fall closer to the June 14 full moon, but if you're in that timeline right there, this is going to be you're completing something and starting something brand new. A lot of us are, but you might be feeling that a little bit more for you right now. Mercury is your ruling planet, so that's going to be in retrograde most of the season. So it's important for you to be more patient. If you're resonating with that as a Gemini, you're going to want to listen and go a little bit slower. Don't rush too fast. There is nothing to rush through. The universe can wait forever, but we sometimes feel like we just have to hurry, hurry, hurry. And this is going to be important for you to slow down a little bit and pay attention and be more patient. So it's more of a patience. So don't rush, you don't have to over communicate, you don't have to rush, you don't have to promise things you're not going to be able to follow through with, things like that. That would be a good tip for you if you're resonating with this as a Gemini. If it feels off, if it feels confusing, if it's not sure, you need to go within. You need to listen and align with your inner voice. You need to pay attention there. There's no rushing. So that would be the big one for you. Okay, Cancer. If you are in the sign of Cancer. So the first part of the Gemini season for you, you might find that you need to retreat. You need to rest. You need to recover. You've been working hard. You've been, rebuild your energy. Maybe you feel depleted a little bit. Maybe you don't. Eclipse energies are very strong, and that particular sign could be feeling it really strong. So if you have that, whether it's your sun sign or rising sign, you might have really been feeling those eclipse energies. But it's because that's ruled by the moon, and that's so strong for you. So if you are going through changes or some sort of transformation that's coming your way, you want to give yourself plenty of space to adjust, to integrate it in, to take your time, to let it unfold, because the emotions have to be processed too. We have to feel them a little bit, So this one will bring new energy in for you, and it will also help lighten up any of the heaviness you may have been feeling. So if you've been really feeling down, or you've been feeling those emotions a little bit more lately, this should help. This should lift it up for you. Remember, this is an awareness and grounding into and accepting that we feel it like that. Or, that sign can feel more. Everybody can, but you may feel it more. So if that's resonating for you in Cancer sign, just keep going with that, and just know that you may get some aha moments. You might find a lift or a burst of like, oh, okay, that's it. I get it now. And then this burden will be lifted. I get the aha moments. Those are amazing when they happen. You can't plan them. They just spontaneously, just something will click, So pay attention to that. Let's move on to Leo. Leo you may find that you just feel this need to push and just keep going no matter what, even though there's obstacles and something getting in the way or some kind of challenge. You just feel like you need to push, push, push. This is going to be that first part that you may feel as well. You might feel that in that sign, but you might want to start to notice, look how far you have come. Pay attention to all the hard work you've already done that has gotten done, that has been successful, versus trying to push and forge through something that's slowing down. It's going to be a little bit of a patience for you. There's going to be a little bit of, strength and, okay, I gotta just take a deep breath and know that if I put my mind to it, I'll figure it out. I don't have to give up. I don't have to just quit. I just need to settle in and realize it's trying to teach me something. So that one would be good for the Leos. It's like, why are you doing what you do? Is that what you want? What are you trying to prove? These are questions you would ask yourself. There's also, in the retrograde part, you might feel a little sluggish and slow, or like just something doesn't want to move, but it will pass. Okay, so when you get to the end of the month and you get near the full moon that's on June 14th in Sagittarius, that's when you'll start to lift. You'll start to feel like, okay, now it's flowing. This was a time for you to just align a bit more. So if you resonate with that one, that was more for a Leo, you might feel that in Gemini. Virgo, if you are Virgo, remember guys, this is just an overview in general of each sign and what you may or may not experience during Gemini season. Virgos, have you been feeling confused about where you want to go? You don't know where your next chapter begins. You don't know if you're ready. You don't know if it's time to proceed and move forward. You're just not sure. Things like that will pop up for you. In the first half, it might feel very confusing, just like, I'm not sure. But that's because of Mercury in the retrograde. You might feel that one a little bit more. But if you're dealing with communication issues like miscommunications, misunderstandings, something's not in alignment, or disputes, things like that, this is going to be a time to move into patience and listen and try to do the 10-second rule a little bit more before you respond, because you might be feeling that retrograde a little bit more. But it's all right. You can wait it out a little bit, because once you move past this and get closer to June, things will be a little bit easier for you to navigate. So this is just temporary. The Gemini New Moon on May 30th, you might find that the career opportunities will pop up for you then. So these are all for the Virgo. And this is something that might be interesting. You never know what kind of opportunities or inspirations may come. So just be patient and hang in there. It might feel a little foggy for the first half, but it does move through. Now, let's move on to Libra. Libra, everything constantly changes. Life's always changing, something starting, up and down, yes and no, ebb and flow, all of that. And sometimes it's easier to accept and sometimes it's not, and you might be feeling that. So the eclipses have probably, you've found yourself in a new place, a new direction, a new experience of some sort. This new moon that comes on May 30th for Libras, you're going to start feeling more confident about things, finally. You're going to feel like, all right, now I feel more prepared than I did at the beginning of the month. Like right now you may not feel like you have no idea which direction. Are you coming or are you going? You might feel more like that. But as you move through this, keep your mind open for things and possibilities from the universe to come in, because you'll start to get your aha moments. You'll start to find a more understanding of it. And this also is a chance for you to push, because of Jupiter there, it's a push for you to expand into different dimensions and maybe absorb and learn and find wisdom that's all around you. It's been there the whole time. But you're gonna find that you're gonna see it more. You'll be more aware of it. You'll learn a new skill. You'll find that research on a certain topic really gets you far. Things like that. You want to be open to these inspirations and these intuitive things that pop in for you. And this is Libra, because it's coming through and it'll align you with your abundance rather than limitation. So that one's interesting for Libra. So if you resonate with that, you might want to look into that. Some of these you may not resonate with any of it, guys. This is general overall for each sign. Please know that. Scorpio. This has been a pretty good workout for you guys lately in the eclipse season, because Scorpio goes so deep, and it was a blood moon in Scorpio. You might feel that it's possible that your life may or may not have been flipped upside down, totally unexpected, major changes, maybe some endings that were difficult with certain areas of life. No matter what it is, Gemini season brings you a break. Yay! Especially when it peaks on that new moon on May 30. So things will settle in and you'll feel like it's easier to get back into your center and into your groove, your momentum. You will also find that there's a lot of change around you, so it's important for you to not ignore your feelings or your discomfort or your awkwardness or your security or your stability. You want to acknowledge how you feel so you can settle them in. And if you feel anything that you don't want, like discomfort, just go, you know what would make me feel more comfortable? You know, think about it. Just acknowledge those different emotions so they can process. Sometimes we need extra healing and rejuvenation when we've been going through a lot. You definitely want to give yourself that. You also want to just make sure you stay open to what the universe wants to bring, because the universe is on all of our sides. No matter what we might be going through, it's a listening. It's a listening and letting those opportunities come in. So let's move on to Sagittarius. Got a couple more here. Sagittarians. Okay. This one is interesting because Sagittarius is resting opposite of Gemini. Okay, so for example, Taurus is opposite of Scorpio. Gemini is opposite of Sagittarius. So if it's, and that's like on the wheel, when you look at the zodiac wheel. So if your energy is always about something you're going to feel close to, that's what you want to look at. It may shine a spotlight for you on relationships or something that has a really deep connection for you, something very personal and that matters to you. It's also Gemini being about communication. You might find that you need to have conversations with others to let them know where you are and what your viewpoint is. Are you doing that? This might bring that part up for you. It's also going to be about listening. It's going to be about listening. I think overall all of us could listen more. You know I could always listen better, especially when Mercury's in retrograde. So you might feel that a little bit. And it's also important that you choose your words wisely. So use your 10-second rule. Be patient. Go slower. And so you won't be reacting to something if you're misunderstood. If you have any signs under the Gemini, then this is like read them again, check them again. Just triple check things before you sign on the dotted line for you. And pay attention to your intuition because it's pretty accurate. You want to listen to that. That's important. So just everybody in general, what I'm noticing is just slow down. Take time to listen. Take time to know where your true voice is, your inner voice, where you want to be. Are you being clear about it? Is that why you're being misunderstood? Because we're not actually letting people see who we really are, things like that. This is important for all of us as individuals to make a decision on. So we have a couple more here, and let's see, we are at Capricorn. So let me go through Capricorn. Capricorn is in Gemini being socially, it's a social energy. It likes to mingle and hang out with friends and stuff like that. You might find that as a Capricorn, you're being encouraged to do that or feel like, I need to be a little bit more social with my friends and family or something like that. Because having meaningful connections with others is going to be like nourishment to your soul. That part that you feel has been missing. So you might feel a nudge to make that more of a priority. If you've been feeling more isolated, maybe you're more introverted, maybe you just feel like, okay, I get out there, it feels weird. You might have been feeling that a little bit more. You want to put yourself out there to reconnect with your family and friends or meet new people. You might find that socially you just feel isolated. You may not feel this at all, I don't know, but if you've been working on it, then you won't. Sometimes under eclipse energy, it'll bring things up from the past that we maybe don't want to think about, but if it does, you want to just take that time to process those feelings and just say, is this why I'm avoiding everybody? That kind of thing. Just know that there's inspiration, and it's actually a time for you to have more of a social life, really, in general, is what it is. So just look at it and see how that could be applying to you. It may or may not. I know a lot of Capricorns that are very sociable, so they wouldn't feel this at all. Aquarius. Here we are with Aquarius. So for Gemini season, for an Aquarius, it might be get your affairs in order, you know, make sure those bills are paid, make sure you're organized on things, make sure you're not having a cluttery house. It's just like get your house, get your life, just get things decluttered, so to speak. If it feels like you've been like that, this would be a good time for you to get things organized. Everything, whether it's house cleaning, your yard, whatever, your closet, your paperwork, your bills, you know, just get organized. Just get organized. That's what this one's about for you. And this will bring more clarity for your mind and your thinking if you do that. So it's kind of like working from the outside in. I found that one interesting. And that happens a lot because honestly, if your mind is full of cluttery thoughts, sometimes that will, you can use like organizing your outer world to declutter that on the inside. It's interesting how that works. Just doing physical things like that can help clear your mind. It can actually help you sort it out. Found that interesting. Meditation would be good for you, or maybe trying a new type of exercise. Maybe yoga has been something you've been wanting to try. You want to dream, you want to have your goals, what you've been working on, but that clutter in that mind, that's going to be important for you to straighten out right now so you have a clear mind and you know which direction you want to go in. So that's going to be very, very helpful to you, just to bring clarity, and so you can make what you want come into your reality. So Pisces, here's the last one. Pisces, this one with eclipse energies, that's been radiating. Oh man, that's been strong for you guys during the eclipse season. But you know, you will feel a little bit of relief with the Gemini season. So maybe you've had a lot of fears or something from the past come up that you've just been sorting out and dealing with, and you've been feeling like, I don't want to feel like this anymore. I want to be done with it. This is going to be really good energy for you to say, to bring those things up and just finally move on, let it go. There's like, I don't want to be afraid of that anymore. I want to move on, that kind of thing. It's a good time for you to think about what fears might be holding you back too. Is there something you want to do but you're afraid of what would happen? Like, I really want to start my new project, but I'm afraid I'll mess it up, and you don't do anything. This would apply here. Things like that. On May 30th, with that new moon coming in, that might bring some inspiration for you to finally just, you know what? Yeah, I'm nervous. This might goof up, but I'm going to do it anyway. It's really just embracing life. Let Jupiter energy help you expand beyond that and give you that optimism that you need. If you've been feeling weighed down from those eclipse energies, which you still will feel for a little bit longer, this new moon that comes on May 30th will feel really light for you. So that's going to be good for you. It's a new moon. So that's going over quickly all the different aspects of what each sign may or may not experience. That was just a general overview of different things according to each sign. In general, Archangel Gabriel is incredible for any of us, all of us, whoever wants to understand communications better. They want to listen better. They want to understand their creative side. Gabriel's wonderful that, because we have to listen to ourselves too. We have to allow our inner voice to be spoken. We need to align with that. That's where our true happiness is. And everybody's going to have a different place in that. So if this eclipse energy has been heavy for you, which we'll still feel for a little bit longer, toward the end of the month, it'll lighten up by that new moon. Let it show you what you need to see. Pay attention to those dreams. Pay attention to whatever is popping up for you. If it's emotions, if it's sadness, if it's, no, I'm good, I don't feel anything like that, I feel pretty content. Like, for example, you might be fine during the days, but then the dreams are crazy at night, really intense. That's all right. That's the subconscious process of things. That's kind of letting you know, but I would pay attention to them. I would see what they're trying to teach you. And sometimes we feel it in our physical world. Sometimes our bodies might be telling us we need to slow down and take a break. It might be saying, hey, this is your time to get moving. Let's rock and roll. It's all going to be listening to our intuition. And I've always been a believer in everybody trusting their intuition. Trusting your own is the most important thing. Not somebody else's, but your own. Because we're all individual souls. We're all spiritual beings living a physical life here. And we will all go through different challenges in different ways. So the goal is to find what works for you. So with that said, I want to let everybody go a little bit earlier today instead of going a full hour. I want everyone to know that we won't be here next week for holiday break, but we will be back in 2 weeks in June. And I also want to wish each and every one of you a very safe and blessed holiday at the end of the month here. It's coming up. I want everyone to think about this energy, about how Gemini season can help you and how you can really align your inner and outer world to be the same. You know, if there's things that we want, our soul wants, why aren't we living that in our physical world? So with that said, I want to send each and every one of you a big blessing, a lot of love, and we will see you next time here on the Jenn Royster Show. Namaste.
You've been listening to the Jenn Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life. Dr. Jenn Royster is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Imagine having the ability to use your innate positive energy to dissolve the stuckness in your life, whether it's emotional, physical, or spiritual, through this incredible dynamic show. If you've missed any part of this show or any other